I am an author and founder of Deliver Smiles, a company that helps corporates build happier work cultures. In today's podcast, we will talk about validations in relationships, how they help in nurturing the relationships, what are some of the common invalidating responses, and some ways to practice validations. When we think of healthy relationships, we often think of tangible things like going out for a movie or a dinner, giving an expensive gift to our partner, clubbing together, having a drink with them, and so on. Though these are an important part of nurturing a relationship, one important aspect of relationships that we often neglect is validations. Validation is understanding, accepting, and recognizing that a person's feelings, emotions, and opinions are valid. It is an extremely important skill to develop healthy relationships, not just with our partner or spouse, but with friends and at workplace as well. Validation doesn't come naturally to most of us, but it's a skill that can be learned with practice. A relationship with constant validation has no inhibitions, and partners feel absolutely safe and comfortable sharing their most inner feelings with each other. It helps build healthier relationships based upon the components of trust, harmony, respect, openness, and understanding. It's a simple and an effective way to improve relationships. There is a common misconception about validation that we need to agree or approve of other person's emotions or feeling in order to validate them. Validation does not mean agreement or approval. It's about accepting someone's internal experiences as valid and understandable. It is just acknowledging that their thoughts and feelings are true for them. We need to make them feel heard and that what they are saying is important. Also, validation doesn't only come into picture for negative emotions. They apply to positive experiences too. Validating their excitement and joy when they are sharing a good news with us, or accepting and acknowledging what they enjoy and like to do is equally important as accepting their negative emotions. Now, let us try and understand our typical invalidating responses to situations where we do not agree to a person's likes or dislikes, their feelings or thoughts. One of our most common response to such situations is dismissal. Saying sentences like, "No, you aren't upset. You can't be upset for this," are denial sentences where we are basically trying to tell the person that they are not feeling the way they are saying. It may create a feeling of frustration in the other person for not being understood or trusted. Another invalidating response may be getting into an argument. Arguments may be in form of professing or in general by saying things like, "How can someone not like reading books? How can you even feel this way?" Arguments emotionally drain out the already distressed person. Another typical response in such situations may be just ignoring the other person's feelings. The person may be trying to communicate his or her innermost feelings with us while we are busy looking at our phone or watching television or working on something without paying any attention. This makes the person feel unheard and unimportant. At times, we also try to minimize the problem. We can do so by saying things like, "You are getting bugged by a very petty issue. You are overthinking about nothing." Most of the times, minimization is done with the best intent to make the problem look small. Yet, for the person, it means that their feelings are not appropriate for the situation. These comments infuriate the person or make them feel guilty about their emotions, thereby adding to their emotional burden. Getting judgmental or mislabeling a person is another way of invalidation. Passing judgmental comments like, oh, you are always overreacting, you like all stupid movies, and mislabeling the person by name calling like, oh, you are such a crybaby, you are such an emotional fool. These are often considered as a ridicule by the person going through a stressful situation. Sometimes, again with the very best of intentions, we try to divert the mind of distressed person. Would you like to go out for dinner? Would you like to go out to watch a movie? These attempts of diversions or distractions again make the person feel that she is not being heard or understood. We may also jump to problem solving. Again, comes with a very good intentions. Why don't you start your hobby again? I think you should deal with it in this way. Giving suggestions and advices infuriates a person. The person may just not be looking for advices at all and would only be looking for a listening ear. We also try to deflect by telling our own stories at times. When someone is telling us about themselves, we take it as an opportunity to share our own experiences and talk about ourselves. All these responses are classic examples of invalidation. Nobody appreciates invalidation, and it is emotionally upsetting for a person, especially for an emotionally sensitive person. In case of invalidation for a positive emotion too, a person feels misunderstood and unheard. Most of us do not invalidate someone knowingly. Rather, sometimes we do it with best interests for the person, but that causes a lot of emotional harm to the person. According to some psychological experts, invalidation is one of the biggest reasons for a lot of emotional disorders, including depression. Invalidation also becomes a reason for a person to cling to their negative thoughts more dearly. They become more defensive in order to justify their feelings, and it also makes it difficult for people to manage their emotions effectively. Now, let us look at some powerful ways for validating someone. First and foremost is active or mindful listening, which means giving our full attention and listening without any judgments or urge to give advice. Do not listen with an intent to respond or react, but with the pure intent to understand. At this moment, we need to refrain from trying to fix the problem or give our personal opinion. In order to make the person feel heard, give them our undivided attention by keeping our phone aside, closing our laptop if we are working, and giving non-verbal cues like maintaining proper eye contact, constant nodding, and leading forward. In case of a telephonic conversation, brief verbal affirmations or assuring words like I see, okay, I understand can be used to make the person feel heard. Second one is to empathize. A lot of people often confuse between sympathy and empathy. While sympathy means to feel for someone, empathy on the other hand means feeling with someone, putting ourselves in their shoes and feeling what they are feeling. Third is to acknowledge, accept, and reflect without any judgment. In this step, we acknowledge their feelings with respect by saying things like, you seem to be very upset about it. Oh, that really sounds to be a disturbing situation. I realize you don't like superhero movies at all. Here, we just allow them to feel the way they are feeling. We can also show validation by asking right kind of questions. Questions that help them share their experience and feelings more. Open ended questions like, So, how are you feeling about this whole thing now? How did you react to that? Help people to vent out their anger and frustration and can be a really gratifying experience for them. We also need to be aware of their physical gestures, especially the ones that show their anxiety or nervousness. Help them calm down by asking them for a glass of water, giving them a hug, holding their hand, or asking them to come for a walk while talking if they want. These small attempts make the person feel comfortable. Next way to validate is to show our understanding and make them feel normal. Sentences like, "It's normal to feel that way. I would have felt the same way in this situation." This makes the person feel legitimate about his or her feelings and give them a big emotional boost. Last and final one is to ask them what do they need. If they seek advice at this stage, we can give them our piece of advice, but we need to be mindful not to invalidate their thoughts in this process. Some people may just need their space. We should not try to impose ourselves on them if they wish to spend time with themselves. I will stop here, and I hope that next time when we see our partner or a friend or a colleague in distress, rather than negating them, we will try to validate their feelings consciously and wholeheartedly. And at the same time, we will give them space to have their own opinions, likes, and dislikes. Allow them to be themselves and nurture each other's differences and respect individuality. And when we do so, we will see the magic of validation, creating a healthy and a meaningful relationship. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.